The engine is still stopped.
For launch. GC. Go. Guidance. Go. Fido. Go. Prop. Go. GNC. Go. Max.
Go.
Eagle. Go. Ecom.
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Welcome to the Forgotten Library. Where the books whisper, the shadows listen, and the stories refuse to stay quietly on the shelf. I'm your host, Christina Spencer. And each month, we explore one novel together. With 3 one-hour live episodes of immersive, read-aloud chapters. Followed by a live interview with the author who brought the story to life. So find your favorite comfy chair, a soft blanket, and a hot beverage. Light a candle if the darkness scares you. And settle in for story time. Welcome to this week's live episode of Horror, History, and Hauntings Library. Hello, all my creepy little weirdos. I hope everyone's doing wonderful this Friday evening. I also want to give a big shout out and hello to my Rift Nation Riders of the Rift over there. Tonight we are doing the first of 3 live readings of Al Cooley's book. Work with me, camera. Spencer's Ghost, The Guardian. This book is about, I have to take my glasses off. Can't read with them, but I can't see without them. It's one of those things. It's 202 pages long. It has 40 chapters, just to let you know the specifics. There is an about the author. We're going to cover that first. There's a wonderful picture of my friend Al right there. It says about the author. Al Cooley has an interest in the paranormal at the early age of 12. Growing up in a haunted house piqued his interest into the afterlife. This made Al to make a documentary in 1998 titled Ghosts in the Valley, a documentary based on true ghost stories in northern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. He spent over 44 years in manufacturing, retiring in 2018. In 2019, Al started a podcast of the same name, Ghosts in the Valley, a podcast solely based on the paranormal. Al Cooley is also a songwriter, a poet, and a magician. Why do I always say magician? Musician. He plays music. Spencer's Ghost is his first book. On any given weekend, you may find Al dining out with his family and friends in Northeast Ohio. And I had the pleasure of being on his podcast not too long ago. I had a wonderful time. Al is a wonderful person. And in his book, he has an acknowledgement. First and foremost, I would like to thank my wife, my soulmate, and my best friend, Amelia, for standing by me for the past 46 years. I would also like to thank my children, Natalie and Michael, my granddaughters, Carmen and Nora. A special thank you to all of the real life characters that experienced the haunting that took place between 1967 and 1971, especially my sister Carla and brother Randy, who shared the same haunted house with me. Thank you to my editor and sister in law, Joanna Bronazzi. Bronazzi, I hope I didn't butcher that too much, for making this book come to life. Thank you to Cheryl Heath for the illustrations, motivation, and support. A shout out to my grandmother Alice, may you rest in peace. A special thank you to Alice, the friendly ghost. Without you, this book would never be possible. Thank you to all my guests and friends I came to meet through my podcast, Ghosts in the Valley. All right, and just a little housekeeping. I cannot check. I won't be staring at the chats like I typically do with the regular chat, the regular podcast. So I'll have to check them periodically as we take breaks. So make sure, if you haven't already, grab your most comfortable blanket. I've got my fuzzy. Your hot beverage of choice. Feel free to light a candle or some incense. And we are going to jump right into this in just a second. I see we already have chats in the chat room, so let's check those real quick and then we'll get started reading. Oh, hey, Laura. I'm here, she says. Hi. Welcome. And then I responded, hello and welcome. We were going live at 9:30 just to let everyone know what was going on. Because things have been a little hectic and I've had to cancel and reschedule. It's been a little chaotic, but we got there. We're here. Yay, can't wait. It took me a bit to find you. Sorry about that. I try to post everywhere. Mike. Hi, Mike. Welcome. We love Al. I'm sorry. Yes, we do. I love Al. And she said, I captured a stationary orb tonight. It wasn't the camera lens orb was shimmering. The camera lens don't do that. Cool. Very cool. Because I know she did a live earlier today. There's my friend Adam. Hey, Adam. There's Dragon. Z's son Dragon. Hello, all. Hey, Z. Oh, and here's Al himself. Hey, all. I hope you're enjoying my story. We're just getting ready to dive into it, sir. I love a good ghost story that are legit. Yes, this is technically it's fiction, but it's based on his true life events. We talked about it a little bit on his podcast the other day. He based the stories in here on things that he did experience, but he kind of changed some names and kind of made it fictional for sake of protecting people's identities and stuff, which is very, very important. Yes, Laura is a medium and clairvoyant. Love your screen drop, girl. Thank you. Woo, you guys are chatty today. Here we go. Exactly, Adam. Here we go. We're going to get ready to read. All right. Wonderful. So, like I said, in between, if there's a break in like a chapter, or of course, I need to take a sip of my beverage because it does take a lot to read out loud for an hour. But without further ado, we are going to get started. Let's get our page here. Chapter 1. I'm trying to figure out how to do this and still get close to the microphone. Oh, we need to get Bob. Bob! Come up here, Bob. There's Bob. I was like, we need our Bob, man. And feel free, turn your lights down home at home. Turn your lights down home at home. Yep. Turn your lights down and get cuddled in. And I'm going to read you a bedtime story called Spencer's Ghost, no relation. The Guardian by Al Cooley. Chapter 1. A change is coming. Outside, the lightning and thunder are wicked as we turn up the driveway to our new home. The 5 of us are in Tommy's 1958 Buick that my mother calls the tank. We're here. Welcome to our new home, kids, my mother says excitedly. Through the rain and the smoke coming off Tommy's cigarette, I see a young girl about 7 to 10 years old. The mystery girl is looking out the second floor window of our new home. She has her face and hands pressed up against the glass. I shared this startling information with the rest of my family in the car. Tommy turns off the radio, and now all eyes shift to me. As the car slowly creeps up the driveway, I sense my family's annoyance. Let's backtrack to 4 weeks ago. My name is Lee Spencer. By the way, no relation. And I'm 12 years old. I live in a tiny house with my mother, Shelley, 28, my sister, Cheryl, 11, and my brother, Blaine, 3. My mother calls a family meeting in the living room. In 4 weeks, we are moving, Mom announces. Disliking our cramped situation, we have no objections to the move. Cheryl asked, "Where are we going to move to, Mom?" "We're moving back to Warren," states Mom. Warren is approximately 50 miles southwest of Cleveland, Ohio. Cheryl and I are over the moon. We start dancing and twirling each other around. Blaine joins us in our celebration, not knowing why we are celebrating and dancing. Mom tells us to sit down because she has even bigger news. Not only are we moving back to Warren, but we are also moving into a much bigger house. Plus, you will also be closer to your friends, and Tommy is moving in with us. Tommy Mahome and my mom have been dating for a little over a year. Cheryl and I are speechless. Blaine doesn't have a clue about what's going on. He is up dancing and twirling around again. Mom asks, "Cat got your tongue?" Cheryl is the first to respond. I think that's wonderful news, and I'm thrilled that Tommy is moving in with us. I like Tommy a lot. "What about you, Lee?" Mom asks. "Well, I don't know this character very well." Mom replies, "This character loves me so much that he is accepting our family as his own. Can you promise me you'll give Tommy a chance?" I could hardly say no, right? My mother and I are a lot alike. Both of us are very stubborn and outspoken. If Mom wants an honest answer on anything, she knows to ask me. I'm the only one that will tell her that her shoes don't match her dress, and Cheryl and Tommy side with my mom. They tell her exactly what she wants to hear. Not me. If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. That is why we clash a lot. Mom knows that I can stretch the truth sometimes. Maybe Mom thinks I'm stretching the truth again. I'm screaming in my head, "Please, Mom, just look up at the window and you'll see that I'm not lying. Please, just look." Mom doesn't look up at the window. She doesn't even glance. Another crash of thunder rumbles outside of Tommy's car. The storm is not letting up. It's like a monsoon out there. Inside, Tommy is staring at me in his rearview mirror. Cheryl is sitting across from me in the back seat so she doesn't see what I see. Mom looks down and shakes her head. The rain continues pelting off the metal roof of the car. No one believes me, yet the girl I see in the window is watching our car slowly pull up the drive. My mother addresses me in a loud and firm voice. "Lee Anthony Spencer." When my mother uses all 3 of my given names, I'm being scolded, or I am definitely in trouble. Mom continues, "Tommy and I locked up this house last night, and when we left, there was no one else in this house. Do you hear me? Not one. I think you're full of crap." My mother isn't just mad. I pissed her off. In my mind, is my mind playing tricks on me? Really? The last thing I need is my imagination turning this into a full-blown exaggeration. I look back up at the window. She is gone. Tommy turns the radio back on. The radio is playing "When a Man Loves a Woman" by Percy Sledge. The tune takes my mother's focus off me. This couldn't have happened at a better time. Mom sings along with Percy. I sit back in my seat listening to Mom's favorite song and watching the rain snake down my backseat window. The storm is not letting up, but getting worse by the minute. It looks like I'm stuck in the tank longer than I wanted to be. Chapter 2, New Beginning. The pounding rain ends and the sunlight is bursting through the clouds. It is a great time to exit the car and explore our new home. Mom is the first one up the steps to unlock the front door. The door will not unlock. Tommy tries his key, but still no luck. We travel to the side door next to the driveway and experience the same situation. We can't get in. One last chance, all of us go to the rear door. The back screen door creaks like the sounds you would hear in a scary movie. Mom directs her attention toward Tommy. Tommy catches on real quick because he knows his first project is to repair the squeaky screen door. Mom turns her attention back to the locked door. "If this doesn't unlock, I'm calling the landlord," Mom says. My mother inserts her key into the lock, turns the key, and voila! The door opens. Mom goes into the kitchen, accompanied by the rest of us. According to our landlord, the house is erected in the early 1900s. The house smells musty and old. The house will require a great deal of cleaning. Cleaning this house will not be a problem for my mother. In our household, we know her as the Pine Sol Lady. Mom would pine sol the three of us kids if we were filthy enough. Mom and Tommy are discussing where to put the furniture when the movers get here, as Cheryl and I go upstairs to put dibs on our bedrooms. We find our clothes hanging in the closets. Mom already had made the final decision on our rooms. I will share my bedroom with my little brother, Blaine. I walk over to the dusty window ledge, looking for any evidence of the mystery girl. There are no handprints anywhere to be found. I am 100% certain this is the same window I saw the ghost girl pressing her hands and face against. There's no evidence of her being here. So much for my mystery girl. Maybe she truly is a ghost. Cheryl's bedroom is next to mine. I notice her bedroom faces the rundown house next to ours. I seize the moment I've been waiting for. "Gee, Cheryl, your room has a terrible view and it's tiny. And I didn't mention that your room sucks." "That's okay. When I'm done decorating, my room will look pretty," Cheryl says. Dang, I'm the best agitator in the world. Maybe I'm losing my touch. When I die, I want this put on my tombstone: the best agitator who ever lived. From Mom and Tommy's room, the biggest bedroom in the house, I wander to the bathroom. The last room upstairs I have left to see. Like all the other rooms, the bathroom is filthy. This house needs pressure washed inside and out. This filthy house hasn't met the Pine Sol Lady yet. Mom and all her cleaning supplies will make our new home sparkle. Cheryl goes downstairs while I stay upstairs, trying to decide where to put my guitar and the rest of my collectibles. There is an eerie vibe I'm getting, as if something or someone is watching me. All the rooms are empty since the moving van isn't here yet. I stand in the middle of the room, cup my hands around my mouth and shout, "Hello!" Oh, oh. The sound of my voice bouncing off the walls and the wooden floor. That was cool. The echo reminds me of standing on top of a mountain and hearing it through the valley. So I do it again. I shout even louder, "Hello! Oh, oh." A mysterious girlish voice answers back, "Hello?" Also with a slight echo. I look in the hallway thinking Cheryl will come back upstairs. Nope, I'm the only one up here. Weird. Very weird. I head for the basement. I hope it's not scary like Grandma Pearl's old farmhouse. When Cheryl and I sleep over, it's my job to shovel coal into the furnace. The farmhouse has a creepy basement with a coal furnace, dirt floor, and plenty of spiders. Spitters. I turn on the basement light, but nothing happens. Then I flip on the switch and I flip the switch on and off a few more times, still nothing. I search for Tommy and find him working under the kitchen sink. I inform him that the basement light isn't working. Tommy asked me to replace the light bulb. He said that would be an enormous help to him since he has a ton of projects to finish before the movers get here. He gives me a job to do Awesome. I know changing a light bulb isn't a hard job, but I feel like it's contributing a bit. Tommy tells me where the light bulbs and the flashlights are located. Wait a minute, I have to go down into the dark basement? And this is my first time down there? I don't have a good feeling about this at all, especially after hearing the voice upstairs. The flashlight keeps flickering off and on. Tommy told me he just put new batteries in it, so why is it flickering? Every step I take makes a creaking noise. Everything in this house creaks. A few feet in front of me, at the bottom of the basement steps, I locate the burnt out bulb. I can't reach the light bulb. I try standing on my tippy toes, being a foot too short. I find a cement block by the basement wall I can use to stand on. I drag the block over and notice that I'm brought a lot of dirt with it. Great. Another nasty dirt floor like Grandma Pearl's old basement. After taking out the old bulb, I have a new one almost in when my foot slips off the block. As I tumble straight back, I feel a hand with a firm grip grab my ankle and another hand on the back of my thigh that keeps me from falling. Thank you, Tommy, I said excitedly, looking down at where he should have been. But there's nobody down there with me. I drop the flashlight and run as fast as I can back up the basement steps. Tommy pokes his head out from under the sink because he heard me running up the steps. He takes one look at me and knows something has scared the daylights out of me. I can tell by the look on his face that he isn't happy with me. Tommy gives me one job to do, a simple job, and I can't even do that. He walks over next to me at the top of the basement steps, flips on the switch, and the basement light comes on. Tommy says, "Great job, Lee. I'll make a carpenter out of you yet. You look like you've seen a ghost. Everything okay?" I don't know how to answer that. He really thinks I'm crazy because of the ghost girl earlier. I don't want to make it any worse on myself, so I reply, "Yes, everything's all right." Tommy responds, "Great. Please go find your mother because she needs your help." I'm helping Mom when we hear a loud thud come from the basement landing. Someone either dropped something or hit the side door. When we get to the top of the basement steps, Tommy is sprawled out on the floor of the landing. He gets up, looks behind himself as if something or someone is responsible for his fall. Mom, standing behind me, cries out, "Tommy, are you okay? What happened?" Tommy replies, "I'm fine, Shelley. Just a muscle spasm." I'm thinking to myself, muscle spasm my ass. He knows damn well it wasn't a muscle spasm. Tommy keeps insisting it was a muscle spasm. "Let's all take a break before someone gets hurt," Mom says. "Lee, go find your sister and brother and tell them lunch will be ready in a few minutes." After lunch, I go back to my bedroom. I notice Blaine has marked off a corner of our bedroom where he's going to put his toys. The same corner I was going to put up my record player. Blaine says, "I like our room, Lee. Do you like our room too?" "Yes, Blaine, I like it as well." I don't have the heart to tell him that he took my spot. As I rub the top of Blaine's head, I hear the moving truck pull in front of the house. Being only 12 has its benefits because I don't have to move much. The movers are moving everything and putting all the beds together. I carry my record player, my records, and my guitar upstairs by myself. These are my babies. I don't want them to get damaged. It only takes 3 hours and the entire house has furniture in every room. Most of the boxes that the movers carried in are unpacked and their contents are put away. Mom is adding her final touch by hanging pictures. However, the sticky things that Mom is putting on the backs of the pictures aren't working very well. Mom's favorite picture falls off the wall and the glass breaks. Irritated, Mom shouts, "That's it, Tommy. I need you to pound a few nails in these walls for me so I can hang my pictures." Tommy argues, "Shelley, you know we can't do that. That's part of the lease agreement. We can't put holes in the walls by hanging pictures, shelves, or anything else." Mom gives Tommy another one of her looks. Tommy quickly pounds nails into the walls. Lesson learned. It's now 7 o'clock. There are a few boxes left to unpack, but mostly it's all done. Tommy wants to take us out to eat, but Mom insists that we eat at home. Mom wants to cook her first meal in our new home. Tommy and Mom make meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. For dessert, we have peach slices with Cool Whip. Around the dinner table, we talk about our day. Everything from the crazy weather to the loud thud on the basement landing. We also talk about Cheryl and me starting a new school in a couple of weeks. Dickey Elementary is only a couple of blocks away, so that means we'll walk to school. I should be starting middle school, but since they held me back in first grade, that's not going to happen. So I'll be starting sixth grade with Cheryl. This will be our seventh school in 7 years. Blaine has another 2 years before he starts kindergarten. We're all excited to be in our new home. Maybe Mom is right. This is our new beginning. All right, that ends chapter 2. Let's look at chats real quick. Thanks, Adam. He said he was excited. Okay. It didn't take, but I get what you're saying there, Laura. Such lovely features, Bob. Yeah, he's my buddy. Hey, Bob. That sounds creepy with her realizing it's not him. Right? Very creepy. Okay, guys, I'm going to lay down. I got me a killer headache. Good show, hon. Thank you, Laura. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for popping in, love. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Adam. Yes, we all hope Laura feels better. All right. I think that's all the chats we have. So let's jump back into it, shall we? Let's get a sip before we get started. Chapter 3, The Club. My mom marries Shorty when she is 15 in 1954. I am born in the same year. Shorty is a nice man when he isn't drinking. Unfortunately, that isn't very often since he's an alcoholic and abusive husband and father. Because of this, I have a hard time calling him dad. My mom endures Shorty's abuse for more than 10 years. But she moves us out before he can hurt Blaine. Our family of 4 relocates many times. The definition of home to my mom is the most affordable housing for a single parent with 3 children. Mom makes sure we are all well fed and clean. Often she says, it's not a sin to be poor, but it's a sin to be dirty. When I met Tommy for the first time, naturally I'm very skeptical of him. Is he a nice guy or another Shorty? My mother is a beautiful woman, a real catch for anyone. With Tommy, I keep one eye open and the other squinted a bit. It's my way of saying, okay, dude, I'm watching you. I can tell my mother loves him. Tommy is a carpenter, and my mother works at Packard Electric. We truly are a blue-collar family. Another thing I find out about Tommy is that he has 4 children and has been married twice. This is going to be a learning experience for all of us. After dinner, I asked my mom, can I go to Grandma Pearl's house? Yes, you can after you finish the dishes. That's the deal. Mom and Tommy cook. Cheryl and I wash the dishes and put them away. Grandma Pearl, Grandpa, and Uncle George live in a 2-story apartment building 3 blocks from us. Grandma has 8 children. Uncle George is the youngest and always gets into trouble with the law. He continuously says, I didn't steal it. I borrowed it. I must have forgotten to take it back. I know Uncle George is a good person. He's just rough around the edges. My mother's 2 other brothers, Uncle Eddie and Uncle Frank, step in to help since Shorty left. They teach me how to ride a bike, fish, swim, and change the oil in the lawnmower. How lucky I am to have a council of dads. My best friend Joseph lives in the same apartment building as my grandparents. Since Joseph and I have been friends, he's had a few sleepovers at our last house. Mom gets irritated when I ask if Joseph can spend the night. Not because she doesn't like him, but because she has to drive into Warren to pick up Joseph and drive back to drop him off. Moving back to Warren is a blessing for Joseph and me. Cheryl calls Joseph our brother from another mother. Joseph and I can tell each other anything. I decided to let him in on the ghost girl. He doesn't say anything for the longest time. He must be thinking I'm crazy too. It's not that I don't believe you, Lee, but you ever think that this house is her domain and you are just invading her space? Joseph asks. First of all, thank you for believing me. That means a lot. I think I lost you there for a minute, I respond. Joseph answers, I'm just a little confused why Ghost Girl doesn't show herself to anyone but you. I'm like your brother, man. I practically live at your house. So why hasn't she shown herself to me yet? I don't know, Joseph. What scares me more and more are events happening. And I keep asking myself, why me? I never seen a ghost in my life. On day one, I see her in my bedroom window. She says hello to me and she grabs my leg and ankle. I'm 100% sure she is the one who pushed Tommy down on the landing. Maybe she doesn't like adults and likes only kids her age. I'm not making this shit up. Calm down, I believe you. But what confuses me is why would she try to hurt Tommy but help you? We're all about the same age, you, Cheryl, and me. So that's not it. We sat there for the longest time without a word spoken. Silence. Complete silence. Joseph jumps up and says, I got you. Ghost Girl is only picking those she wants to connect with. That's it. That makes a lot of sense, I shout. You're awesome. Joseph is a member of our inner circle. Our inner circle is the club. In our club, we can say and talk about anything we want. What is said in the club stays inside the club. One of the coolest benefits of being a member is that the members can eat as much candy as they like and drink as much soda as they want. More times than not, we all go home with an upset stomach because we eat too much junk food. Our club consists of 4 people: Joseph, Woody, Cheryl, and me. Woody's a good friend from my old neighborhood. He can only make the meetings when his mother drops him off since he lives out of town. We meet at the West Side Community Park, which sits between my house and Joseph's. We only talk about the ghost girl in the club because it might be too risky to let other people know about her. I've already been grounded 3 times for talking about the ghost to my mother because she doesn't believe me. Today's main issue are the ghost girl and filling positions in the club. I'm elected president because the club was my idea, and I'm the most outspoken. We appoint Cheryl as the secretary/treasurer. Cheryl says, how can I be treasurer when we don't have any money to start with? I'm glad you brought that up, Cheryl, I reply. One way to generate money is by returning soda bottles and getting the deposit back. Any other ideas? Woody joins in by saying, I will donate half the money I make cutting grass to the pot. I ask Woody, why only half? Now, don't get greedy, Lee, Wood fires back. I have to give half to my mother because she knows I will buy junk food with it. So I'll donate the other half back into the club. Cheryl says, I'll donate the money I make from doing my chores. I ask Cheryl, how come Mom doesn't give me any money? Cheryl laughs and says, because you don't do anything. After everyone had their laughs at my expense, I asked, okay, Joseph, what are you going to contribute to our club? I don't like money. Money is the root of all evil. I believe in peace and love. Now everyone is cracking up, including Joseph. Woody asks, so what's my part? Well, Woody, I thought you could be the head of our security, I reply. I'm confused, Lee, Woody says. Do we need security? Or what do we need security for? I might be tall, but I'm not a fighter. I know that, I respond. If someone from the outside tries to interrupt our meetings, you just ask them to leave. Woody says, okay, that's cool. I can do that. Cheryl adds her 2 cents. Everyone has a title except Joseph. My thought was to let Joseph name the club. Is everyone cool with that idea? We all agree to let Joseph name the club. Cheryl asks Joseph, "Okay, Joseph, what are we naming this club?" "The club?" he shouts. Getting a little irritated, Cheryl says, "Yes, Joseph, name the club." Joseph shoots back, "The club. The name of our club is the club." Cheryl is the Cheryl is the first to respond. "I have to tell you, Joseph, that is lame." "What the hell, Joseph?" All eyes are on me because I cursed. Woody finally speaks up. "Lee, we have all agreed to let Joseph name the club. The club is our new name. Now let's move on." Woody doesn't say too much, so when he does, we listen. Plus, Woody is 6 feet tall. That makes you listen as well. I say, "All in favor of the club being our new name, raise your hands." All the hands raise except Cheryl's. Woody glares at Cheryl. Cheryl's little hand raises reluctantly. Then it's final. The club is our new name. Joseph is beaming from ear to ear. He is the only one smiling. The rest of us aren't so thrilled. I announce, before we close our meeting, we have another matter to address. I suggest we name Ghost Girl. It doesn't seem right that she doesn't have a name. I have a suggestion, but I want to hear yours as well. Woody says, "I like Samantha." Cheryl replies, "I don't like Samantha. I like Gertrude." I say, "I don't like either one of those names. How about Alice?" Joseph agrees with me that Alice is the best name so far. I close out the meeting by saying, if there's no objection, Alice is the Ghost Girl's new name. The club is our new name, and all in favor say aye. Everyone in the group says aye. Our first meeting comes to a close. Possibly in the future, we will add new members. As soon as I get home and get a pencil and paper, if that's okay. Oh, I asked Cheryl, "Did you get all that down in writing? You're the secretary, you know." As soon as I get home and I get a pencil and paper, if that's okay with you, boss. Everybody cracks up as we get up from our picnic table. We celebrate by going to the Dairy Queen, which happens to be right next to the park. All four of us order the same thing: chocolate cones. The best part is Joseph pays for all of us. I look over at Joseph and say, "Thank you, but you say you have no money. You know, since money is the root of all evil." "Man, I'm only joking. We're in this together. Sometimes you take things way too seriously." "Yeah, I know I do. Right now I have a lot on my plate. This ghost girl thing is driving me crazy. I know you guys believe me, but sometimes I feel like I'm on my own here. It's hard to explain." "You're not alone, Fritz," Joseph replied. "We've got your back." I'm thinking to myself, great, he just called me Fritz in front of everyone. Joseph usually only uses my nickname in private. Woody asks, "Fritz?" "I've called Lee Fritz since the first day I met him," Joseph responds. "I don't know why." Woody says, "I've always called Lee Ollie as his nickname." "Why Ollie?" Joseph asked. "I have no idea." Cheryl says, "Ollie? Fritz? I've always just called Lee Butthead." We're all laughing so hard we can't breathe. Between the laughter, I reply, "I don't care what you call me as long as you don't call me late for dinner." Cheryl responds, "You mean late for ice cream?" I reply, "Amen, sister. Now everyone raise your cones and repeat after me. Here's to you, Alice." Cheryl, Woody, Joseph, and me raise our ice cream cones and shout in unison, "Here's to you, Alice." And that's chapter 3. See, we got a few more chats here. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you're with us. Hello, hello. Oh, she's saying hi, Sun Dragon. Simple name for a club. Yep. Can't get any simpler than the club, huh? And oh, I'm clicking something there. Chocolate cones, yummy. I know, right? Can't be, Dairy Queen anyway, let alone chocolate cones, right? I'm going to try to get through chapter 4 before the end. We only got about 15 more minutes, unfortunately. This hour goes by so fast. Okay. Chapter 4, Night Terror. My mother and Tommy love to dance, and tonight they're going dancing. School starts in 2 days. So my mom is letting us order pizza from Duffy's Pizzeria. Duffy's is my favorite pizza shop in town. Cheryl, Blaine, and I will be on our own. Mom thinks we are old enough to take care of ourselves. Before Tommy and Mom leave, Mom says, "You're in charge, Lee. Don't disappoint me." I think, what can go wrong? The three of us kids eat every piece of pizza along with a full bag of chips. We each wash it all down with 2 bottles of Pepsi. Blaine's little stomach is about to explode. Surprisingly, Blaine keeps up with us and now is paying the price for it. Blaine says, "I'm going to bed, Lee. I don't feel too good." I say, "Great. I hope he doesn't get sick on my watch." Cheryl responds, "This is on you, dude. I told you not to let Blaine eat 3 pieces of pizza. He's only 3 years old, for crying out loud." It is a hot and balmy August night. Since we don't have air conditioning, fans are on in every room throughout the house. I can feel the sweat running down my back as the Star Spangled Banner is playing on the television. This means the TV station is signing off the air. I wake Cheryl sleeping on the couch and tell her to go to bed. She mumbles something as she staggers up the steps. I throw away the empty pizza box, clean up, and leave the kitchen light on for Mom and Tommy. By the time I get to the top of the steps, Cheryl and Blaine are sound asleep. I'm lying in bed, tossing and turning. I can't get to sleep. I don't know if it's because I ate too much pizza, drank too much soda, or it's just too damn hot. The fan in my window is making a terrible clicking sound. I look over at Blaine. He's dead to the world. Blaine could sleep through an earthquake. I flip my pillow and turn over to face the window. A horrendous noise is coming from inside my bedroom wall behind my headboard. A very loud scratching sound. I turn over again. Now I'm facing the bedroom door. Along with the scratching, now it sounds like someone is pounding on my wall with their fist. The pounding is so hard that it knocks one of my pictures off the wall, causing the glass in the frame to shatter into a million pieces. How am I going to explain this to my mother? I'm now on my back with the bed covers pulled up to my eyes. My heart is thumping 100 miles an hour. It's been 2 weeks since Alice, or whoever, grabs my ankle in the basement. Can this be Alice? I shout out, "Cheryl!" I can feel the veins in my neck sticking out, but no sound is leaving my mouth. "Cheryl! Cheryl! Cheryl!" I shout 3 more times, still no sound coming out. I'm petrified. Just like that, all is quiet. No more scratching, no more pounding inside the walls. Sleep is starting to come over me. My eyelids feel heavy. Finally, I can get some shut-eye. Just as I'm slipping into a cozy slumber, a new sound erupts. The heavy sound of breathing is all around me. At the same time, I hear footsteps coming up the stairs. It sounds like someone is running up the steps very hard. I see a bright light outside my bedroom door. As the footsteps go down the stairs, the bright light fades away. The heavy breathing stops. I'm too afraid to move. It feels like all my limbs are paralyzed. I sense the presence of the girl standing next to my bed. Could this be Alice? I still have my eyes squinted as much as possible. "Lee," a voice whispers in my ear. The voice sounds a lot like Cheryl's. Slowly, I turn my head. It is Cheryl, not Alice. Did you hear that, Lee? Whoever that is, it's standing outside my bedroom door staring at me. Mom and Tommy will never believe this. I say nervously, "We can't mention this to them at all. Not a word." You hear the heavy breathing, the scratching, and the pounding on my bedroom wall? No. Angrily, I shout at Cheryl, "What the hell?" The thumping is so loud and hard that it knocked my picture off the wall and shattered glass everywhere. I can't believe you didn't hear any of that. I'm sorry, Lee. I never heard any of the things you're telling me right now. What I hear is the footsteps coming up the stairs that sound like a stampede. Then I see an older girl or a young woman staring right through me. She doesn't say a word, just looks at me for about 10 seconds. That is impossible, I continue shouting. She is not an older girl. She's a young girl. She has to be a young girl because that's who I see in the window. She's about 10 years old. Come on, Cheryl, think this through. Cheryl, defending herself, says, "Stop yelling at me. I know what I saw, Lee. I'm sorry, but she is not a 10-year-old, not even close." Cheryl goes back to her bedroom. I lay back down in bed, mentally and physically exhausted. I have a ton of questions. Is this girl Alice? Is there more than one ghost in the house? Why are the ghosts or Alice trying to scare us? If they are trying to scare us, they're doing a great job. One good thing about this terrifying night is that I have another person as an ally. Now Cheryl knows it's not my imagination. I hear voices coming from the kitchen downstairs. The sunlight is blazing through my bedroom window. Thank God it's morning. The aroma of bacon and eggs makes its way up to my bedroom. I clean up the broken glass and go downstairs. My entire family greets me as I sit down at the kitchen table. "Well, hello, sleepyhead." I don't reply, just grunt, like, whatever. My mother says, "I'm glad you could join us. How did it go last night? By the way, I'm sorry we got home a little late." Do I tell her what happened? I decide to say nothing and try to keep things on an even keel. Cheryl blurts out, "Last night I heard footsteps stomping up the stairs, and I see what looks like an older girl or young woman standing in my doorway looking at me. She disappears as the loud stomping goes back downstairs. Lee doesn't see it personally, only the light." Mom replies, "The last part of that story explains it all. Lee put you up to this, didn't he? Lee, I am sick and tired of your lies. It's bad enough that you talk nonsense, but to drag your sister into these lies is just too much. You're grounded for 2 weeks. Hopefully, you will stop your lying and straighten up." Mom leaves the room, but Tommy sticks around to talk to Cheryl and me. Tommy tells Blaine, "Blaine, can you leave the room? Go play?" Blaine says, "Can I stay and watch Lee get spanked?" Mom says, "If you lie, that's what you get." Mommy repeats, or Tommy repeats, not Mommy. Tommy repeats, "Please, Blaine, go play. Nobody's getting spanked." I tell Blaine, "Thanks, man. I'm glad you got my back." Blaine replies, "I got your back. I got your back. I got your back." As he skips out of the kitchen. Blaine loves to repeat after everyone, so I have to watch what I say in front of them. Cheryl is sitting next to me at the table. Tommy sits down across from us. Tommy looks directly at me and says, "Tell me exactly what happened last night." And I tell him everything. Cheryl adds, "The bright light Lee is talking about turns out to be the image of a ghost I saw. Just like Lee says, the image fades away as the footsteps retreat downstairs. Tommy, please believe us. We're not making this up." Tommy sits there with his hands on his chin. He's really thinking hard about how to address the issue. Tommy responds, "I believe you when you said you and Lee are not making this up. I do. Here's my point of view on this. The scratches and pounding you hear, Lee, is the tree branch hitting the house outside your bedroom window. Matter of fact, I've been wanting to cut that branch down. So today you can help me remove it, and I'll talk to your mother about taking time off being grounded." Tommy then adds, "As far as the heavy breathing goes, that's the sound of your breathing because you're scared. The bright light you both see is the car going down the street, and you see the reflection of the headlights moving across your doorway. Don't worry, guys, this happens more times than you think. Our mind can play weird tricks on us, Lee. In about 30 minutes, meet me out back and we'll cut that branch off that wicked old tree." He gives a little chuckle and leaves the room. I asked Cheryl, "Do you think he was mocking us?" "I don't know, Lee, but if you think about it, it's very hard to believe. I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus." "That's okay, Cheryl. Trouble seems to be my middle name." Laughing, I say, "Thanks a lot, Alice." Cheryl says, yeah, thanks a lot, Alice, or whoever you are. All right, that ends chapter 4. Let me see. How many pages is chapter 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 pages. Do you guys want to hear another chapter? I know we got a couple messages here. Adam said it goes by goes fast, too fast. I agree. It's like we finally get into all the haunting stuff, and now we're gonna have to stop soon. Um, but if you want to, I'll go ahead and I'll read chapter 5, and then unfortunately we're gonna have to stop for the night. But I'll take another sip if you want to get your drink beverage of choice. Okay. I'm giving you a bonus. I'm going to go ahead and, if you can, yes, please. Okay. I'll do one more chapter, but then I'm going to have to call it. Okay. One more. Chapter 5, Broken Glass. One part of me loves our house. The other part of me hates it. I'm terrified of being home alone. Joseph and Woody are supportive, but they're not in my shoes. They don't hear or see what I'm experiencing. The only ally I have is my sister Cheryl. She is reluctant to say anything because it's embarrassing, not just for her, but for our whole family as well. Whenever family and friends visit, Cheryl and I put on a charade. Everything is perfect. Tommy is wonderful and caring person. Sometimes I get upset with him for not talking, for not taking me or Cheryl seriously. I'm getting attached to Tommy as a father figure. I'm not quite sure where Blaine's at with this because he's already calling Tommy daddy. Lee, please turn off your music for a minute. I need to talk to you about something, Tommy says, walking into my room. I'm like, oh boy, now what? It seems I'm always getting into trouble for one thing or another. Tommy is sweating profusely, stuttering, and smoking one cigarette after another. Could this be about Alice? It shouldn't be, since Cheryl and I have been mute on the subject with Tommy and Mom. This past year, Cheryl and I have witnessed more crap in this house than most people witness in their lifetime. Yet we say nothing. We don't want to catch hell from our parents. It shouldn't be this way. We should be able to talk to them about anything and not be judged as kooks. Tommy says it's time for the talk. Now that you're a teenager, your hormones are changing, and I'm here to explain a few things to you. Tommy wipes the sweat rolling down his face. He lights another cigarette, even though he isn't even finished with the last one. I can tell he's very uncomfortable with the conversation. I have no idea where he's going with this, so I just sit and listen. Tommy is rambling about the birds and the bees, and there's a male bird and a female bird, and they get friendly, and all of a sudden there's a baby bird. There are 3 smoldering cigarette butts in the ashtray, yet he lights another cigarette and dabs his forehead with a handkerchief. Continuing, Tommy says, there's a male bee, a female bee, and then along comes... I can't let this go on any longer. I explode. Are you talking about having sex, Tommy? You don't have to go any further. I already know about the production of life and the desires men and women have towards each other. The tension on Tommy's face fades dramatically. He is 100% relieved. How long have you known? I put one and one together. I've watched dogs, horses, and other animals mate. Humans can't be that much different, right? Tommy says humans are different in the fact that there is education, employment, medical expenses, along with necessities for a baby, and all the responsibilities that go along with being a parent that you have to take into account. With humans, when a man and a woman love each other, it's called making love, not mating. When a girl has a baby at a young age, her life changes forever. Take your mother, for instance. She got pregnant at 15. She's had to quit school and become a full-time mother. You get my point, Lee? I do. I can assure you that Trisha and I are not having sex. Trisha Collins is Cheryl's best friend. Trisha and I are starting to have feelings for each other. Now I understand why Tommy and I are having this talk. Tommy dabs his sweat and puts another cigarette out. He stands up and leaves with nothing left to say. I don't know what's worse, talking about Alice or sex. Man, that was awkward. I know Mom put him up to this. I respect Tommy even more now because he does something very difficult and handles it the best way he knows how. Mom notices that Trisha is starting to sit next to me around the table instead of next to Cheryl. Mom doesn't allow girls in my room. If they do have to come into my room to do homework, the bedroom door has to remain open at all times. This applies to Trisha even though she's a Christian and her father is a prominent minister in the community. I'm not complaining. Mom is a great mother and will always be there for us. I know she is only looking out for for our best interests. Being a grandmother before she's 30 isn't going to happen. Woody, Joseph, and I decide to start a rock band. Woody on drums, Joseph on the tambourine, and I will play guitar and sing. I don't know what is worse for my mother, Trisha in my bedroom or the three of us rocking out in our garage. For much For as much time as Joseph and Trisha spend at our house, Alice never shows herself to them. I know it's hard to believe when nothing happens in their presence. I don't know if it's just me, but the activity in the house has been over the moon this past year. It's getting worse. Sometimes it just happens to me. Other times it only happens with Cheryl. Cheryl and I are getting the brunt of this activity. We have no idea what we're up against. It's the last day of school. I keep looking at the clock on the school wall. My sixth grade teacher, Mr. James, is talking, but I don't hear a word he is saying. It's 2:59. One more minute to go. Finally, the bell rings. Cheryl and I are running as fast as we can to get home. I drop my school bag to trip Cheryl up in their driveway. It doesn't work. Cheryl hurdles my bag like an Olympic sprinter. We both crash through the back door at the same time. I place my glasses on the back of the couch as I lie down. Are you going to pick up your school bag in the driveway? Yes, Cheryl, right after I take my break. The problem with you, Lee, is you're always on a break. That is why you don't get any allowance, and I do. Mocking, I replied, blah, 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 blah. Cheryl then asked, Hey, Butthead, do you want a glass of soda? All of a sudden, the sound and vibration of someone falling down the stairs erupts. The picture hanging on the living room wall above my head falls off the wall and strikes my glasses that I had placed on top of the couch for safekeeping. The picture frame breaks my glasses and shatters the glass inside the frame. What are the odds of that happening? I shout, Oh shit! At the top of my lungs while holding what used to be one pair of glasses. I know I promised Cheryl I would try to cut back on my curse words, but this merits the occasion. Cheryl screams, Are you all right, Lee? Yeah, I'm fine, Cheryl. I follow the sound of someone tumbling down the stairs, and there's nobody there. It sounded like a human body, man. That was weird. Your glasses are broken, Cheryl states. The vibration knocked the picture off the wall and onto my glasses that I put on top of the sofa. Cheryl says, Mom's never going to believe you. I boldly state, You're correct. That is why we have to get our story straight before Mom gets home. What's going on here? Mom asked. We didn't hear Mom come home. She creeps in like a church mouse. Both Cheryl and I are standing with our mouths wide open. Mom says, I'll ask one more time. What's going on here? You have to get your story straight about what? Cheryl, talk to me. Cheryl nervously responds, Lee and I, we were having a pillow fight. I whacked Lee and I broke his glasses. Lee throws his pillow at me and misses. The pillow hits the picture on the wall. We're sorry, Mom. You're a terrible liar, Cheryl. Stop covering for your brother. And because you are covering for your brother, you both are grounded for a week. I angrily reply, I'm coming off 2 weeks of being grounded. Come on, Mom. Cut me some slack here. Grow up. I know it's your summer break. That's why it's only 1 week. If you want to keep talking back, it will be 2 weeks. Cheryl is whispering to me, Lee, please don't say another word. I can't help myself. Go ahead, make it 2 weeks. If I tell you the truth that this house is haunted, I'll be grounded all summer, right? Okay, mister. You and Cheryl are grounded for 2 weeks, shouts Mom. Mom stomps out of the room while Cheryl is glaring at me like she wants to kill me. Don't you know when to shut your damn mouth? Cheryl screams at me. We're in this together, right? I said jokingly. Cheryl replies, It's not a joke. I was supposed to go to the movies tomorrow with friends. Thanks a lot. Cheryl goes into her room crying. Now I feel bad. The summer vacation is not starting the way I wanted it to. The sticky thing on the wall comes off where the picture is hanging. You can bet Tommy will be putting a nail in that spot as soon as he gets home. I knock on Cheryl's door. She won't open it. Standing outside Cheryl's door, I say, I'm sorry, Cheryl. You're right. I made matters worse. Opening her door, Cheryl says, You're a butthead. Yeah, I know. Cheryl says the story is quick thinking on my part, right? So quick, you get us grounded for a week. Yes, Lee, 1 week. You get us grounded for 2 weeks. Do you think Mom is going to believe a story that an invisible man tumbles down the stairs? The same staircase that is located on the opposite side of the room. And at the same time, a picture mysteriously falls off the wall onto your glasses. I think not. That's why I jumped in with a pillow fight story to save your butt. Mom is right about you being a terrible liar, Cheryl. Here's some advice from an experienced liar. Don't smile when you lie. It's a sure giveaway that you're lying. The bottom line is this. Think before you speak. It might help you out just a tiny bit, Cheryl said. Friends from school want to come over and hang out, but I don't want to subject them to the strange activities going on in the house. I have no way of knowing when Alice will act up. I can't take any chances. Because of this, Cheryl and I have very few friends over. The ones that do come over make me sweat bullets when they are here. The summer of 68 is going to be just like the past year, full of surprises. And that ends chapter 5. We're running about 10 minutes over, which is fine. But yes, I think we're off to a good start. If you want to purchase Spencer's Ghosts, The Guardian, Al Cooley, the link should be in the description for his Amazon. Please pick it up. And just a reminder, this is going to be the first live reading of 3. We'll be starting with chapter 6 next week at 9:30. Same bat channel, same bat time as they used to say on the old Batman show. But yeah, definitely pick up his book. And just a reminder, I'm not going to be reading the ending. Yeah, what a chapter, right? A lot of stuff. That's why I wanted to read that chapter 5 if I could before the end of it. But yeah, definitely purchase his book. I won't be finishing the book completely because I want you guys to be able to finish it and experience it on your own. But yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this. Al's a great guy. Pick up your episode. Pick up your book at Amazon. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every one of you. And I look forward to next week. Make sure you stop in next Wednesday. I have a wonderful interview waited for you. I'm so excited. I'll be announcing that hopefully this weekend. And as always, thank you for watching. Good night. And I got to find my thing. And sweet dreams. Bye-bye, guys.